Okay, I have the recording going now, so we'll get started. So this is week 7 of quarter 2 and our live session today. A couple of business items that we need to clear up include, if you missed the FAFSA night, there is a recording of that information from the night with some good information about applying for scholarships and financial aid for going on after you graduate from high school. So I included the link here. It's also in an email, I believe, that Mr. Treehall sent out to everybody, so you can access it that way. But if you, for some reason, lose the recording link or the link that I sent out to you after, you can always email me and I can get that for you. If you already do need to join the AVID Club, it gives you a chance to enter all AVID students. Right now, the class is only for the seniors. And so I send out an invite to anybody who hadn't already joined and is not included in the club so that you guys can get on there. There's some cool questions on there. It just gives you a chance to get to know other people. And as on from doing your tutorials last time, it's a lot easier if you have common classes to do those. And so eventually I'm imagining that we may utilize that AVID Club to hold some of those tutorials. Or if you're having difficulty getting together within our class to do tutorial, then you can also throw out a message on in the AVID Club. I know the freshman and sophomore group is really good. So they have a lot more flexibility in their schedules, and so I know they've come through cross group to help each other out to conduct tutorials. So if you haven't already joined, please do so that you have access to that resource. Holiday break, that's a chance to get caught up on all of your classes and get ahead. Just know that your teachers are not going to be working. Our last day is the this Friday, the 21st, and then we won't be back until week 8, which I believe is the second week in January. So just know that if you send us an email, we may or may not respond. We may or may not be grading, just depending on the teacher. I know I usually try and get in and do some grading after the first of the year, just so it's not such a bear for me when I get back. But we are not required to. But you can always submit work. That's not a problem for you to work ahead. Just know that do not work ahead in AVID, right? We only have, you can get caught up. If you haven't got everything submitted through week 7, then you can work on that within AVID. But otherwise, leave week 8 until we're back, and then you can do that last week, that final week after break. So this, our lessons for this week, for week 7, include our annual goals and annual and quarterly goals. And because you guys have been in here before, you know that's just filling out that form, answering some questions regarding that. Your discussion question is, did you or did you not meet it? So really our lesson, the meat of the lessons this week are pretty light, but you do have, as you'll see for lesson 16, it's your second tutorial. So because we're backing onto the break, it gives you some extra time. If you guys can't schedule your tutorial, your second tutorial, and meet with people, then you can try roll that into break, but it's always better if you guys can get that finished before the end of this week. So you're going to want to, once again, fill out the TRF Lite form, and then you're going to bring that to whatever time you guys set up to do your tutorial. Then there's some discussion questions related to your tutorial. That's your discussion for this week. And then you'll have your submission for your live session and your submission for the learning teams. So we'll talk a little bit more about your learning team assignment and that tutorial in a minute. But we're going to do a quick team bonding activity. So I want you to Take turns answering the following questions. What's one thing that you hope to get this Christmas season? And then what is one thing that you don't really want, but you're probably going to get anyway? So, Alexa, why don't you go ahead and start?
Well, one thing I hope to get this Christmas is a new rice cooker, because I really love rice and mine got broke recently. And one thing I don't really need, but don't really want, but will probably get is socks, probably. I don't really need socks, but I'm probably going to get a lot, so.
Okay, what kind of rice cooker? An electric one or like a microwave rice cooker?
An electric one.
Cool. Yeah. Those are so nice.
Yeah, they are.
Cool. All right, Trinity, how about you?
I'm hoping to get just something like simple, like money or whatever, because I don't really want anything in particular. And I think it'd just be easier because I can buy gifts for other people. And so that I might get that I don't want is like a gift card to somewhere specific, because then like you can't really choose where you go. Like I got one for Target a while ago, and it was absolutely dreadful. Target's not good.
Yeah, if it's a store you don't shop at or a place you don't normally go, it's like, okay, what's the point of this? I would say one thing that I hope to get this Christmas season is a chance to relax and take my mind off of school and everything, just building the curriculum and getting ready for the holiday has just been rather stressful. We have a tradition to travel over like right after Christmas, usually on Christmas Day or the few days after. And this year we're traveling on the 26th and just going for a short little holiday. But I just want a time to rest this Christmas season. And then one thing that I don't really want, but will probably get is socks. I agree. Socks are, it's the one thing that I always get, but don't necessarily want. So let's go back to your learning team assignment. So in your tutorial group, and you'll notice that I have created an Avid tutorial group. In talking with the other teachers and in listening to you guys, one of the things that you struggled with in doing the tutorials is finding enough people to get together. And because we're such a small class, there's only 9 in this class. If you're in a group of 4 and none of the 4 can, the other 3 can meet with you, then that really limits you. And we don't want to do that. So what I've done is I've gone through and created an Avid 12th grade tutorial group in Google Hangouts. So when you're trying to set up times and you're ready to do your tutorial, put some information out there, try and get at least 3 or more of you to meet, and then make sure that you record your meeting. So are there any questions on that?
No.
Okay. So as far as resources go, we have the TRF Lite form. If you don't have a copy of that in your Avid folder, you can always click on this and make a copy of it so that you have it in your Avid folder. And then you can make a copy of your copy to do for your tutorial number 2. There's some information on the tutorials and then the steps in the process. I did include the recording link for Screencastify so that you can get into that if you haven't already done it. I know. How did that work for you guys, Alexa, when you were doing yours last time?
With the Screencastify?
Yes.
It worked good. I noticed that my audio was the only one that shown, and at least you couldn't hear her. But other than that, it was really good.
Okay. So I think what happens with Screencastify, because I noticed it too, like on that one that we tried to watch, the recording that the other Avid teacher had done, it does a good job of picking up the person who runs it, their mic, but it doesn't do such a good job as far as picking up like other people speaking So like for my session, I have an external mic that I use. And so when you guys are talking, I tip the mic down to my speaker so that hopefully it can pick up the sound. Now, if you don't have that ability, perhaps the person that's running it can just restate things, just for, for the recording purpose. But as long as I can tell that, who's on there, and then you guys turn in your forms, I'm good with that. Trinity, have you been able to get in and do a tutorial yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So you want to make sure that you can get in with those that are doing it. That's why I put you guys all together, just because we do have some in our group that are probably not going to be able to do that, but the tutorials are a big part of your grade in this class, because just this one tutorial here, you get hit with twice. It's a double grade. You'll get a grade for it as part of the lesson, and then you get another grade for it as far as your learning team grade goes. So if you miss that one thing, it's two grades you've missed. So you want to make sure you try and figure out a time when you guys can do it. And like I said, reach out to those in the AVID Club. If you can't figure out a time within our class that works for you, reach out to the other students that are in the AVID Club and see if any of them can meet with you to walk through a tutorial so that you can get that credit and those points. I know last quarter we did one tutorial, sort of. We kind of walked through it a little bit. And then this quarter we're doing 2, and next quarter there's 3. So every single week in a brick and mortar, they're doing a tutorial. And so we're just trying to incorporate those a little bit more into the coursework. So those that are watching the recording, you need to answer the 2 questions from slide 6 in your learning teams and submit the summary paragraph in courseware. And if nobody has anything else, I'm going to let you guys go and just try and get your tutorial set up. So there's not a lot of work to do other than your tutorial this week. All right. Have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you after the break.